I finally got them. The new gray IKEA LADDA cells. I thought I'd start off with just making a few points about this version of the cells, as testing does take some time. Like, it's not something I can just knock out in a couple of days, so it's going to be about a week or two before that comes out, because it has to go through the full cycle of testing before I can show any of that information. So don't click away, because I think there's some important things to discuss here about what has happened over the last few months with IKEA, what these cells represent, and clarifying some misunderstandings about what IKEA announced earlier this year that I noticed that was in some of the discussions on the channel. So first of all, obviously IKEA has not discontinued the LADDA. Here they are. These are the new ones. The old ones, for those that don't know, I think I only have some AA ones sitting here, but they look like this. And what IKEA announced earlier this year was that they were discontinuing the sale of non-rechargeable batteries in all of their stores. I think it was around Earth Day they announced that they were phasing out the sale of all non-rechargeable batteries. It seems like in the intervening months that it did become harder to find these rechargeable cells in some places. I was at specific IKEA locations that were nearest to me. These didn't appear to be available at the time. What I think was happening is that there was a transition between these particular batteries and this new series of batteries that they're releasing, which I'll describe what I think is going on with these as I open them up. So let's move the AAAs out of the way for a second. It seems as though what they've done is they've added a new set of cells. I'm not sure if this is just what's happening in the United States or it's globally. I hope it's globally, because it seems like what this is matching what Panasonic were doing with the Eneloops, which if I pull out two of these, just two random Eneloop standard batteries, and then pull out two Eneloop Pros, you'll see that on the Eneloops have a minimum capacity of 1900 milliamp hours, and the Eneloop Pros have a minimum capacity of 2450 milliamp hours. The same as what you see here. These are the same price I remember paying for the 2450s. These cost $7.50 for a 4-pack. These cost $5.50 for a 4-pack. It's part of IKEA's rationale, which is you buy a set of these things, they cost a little bit more, you charge them up 3 or 4 times, and you basically have paid for a set of what you would have paid for a set of alkaline batteries that would have been a 16 or a 20 pack. So please just buy rechargeable batteries. Why this is not mainstream, I do not understand, and why there's still just so many disposable batteries out there. They have their uses for specific applications, but by and large, Panasonic and now this manufacturer in Japan have proven that this technology is great for a vast majority of the electronics that require these types of batteries. So let's open these up. I'll start with the 1900 milliamp hour ones because they're the new ones. I'll show you the back of this before going any further, but this is lots of stuff on here, but a couple interesting points. One is that it is, where did I see this here? But it does say made in Japan right there. And it's showing 1,000 charge cycles, which is interesting because the 2450s show 500, just like the original LADDAs. And these appear to have a date code on them that indicate this was manufactured in May 2021, and this was manufactured in July 2021. What do the AAAs show? July 2021. So these are very recent. I just picked these up. They became available at the store nearest to me, which is not close. Let's open these up. I like the gray. I think it's an interesting change from just a stark white. And I think they're 2 different shades, 2 different colors. They are. That's neat. So these just say LADDA 1900. They have some regulatory marks on them. Don't put it in the garbage. Interesting. This seems to have a mark on it that shows that it was manufactured in March 2021. But this package shows that it was packaged in May 2021. So I'm wondering if there's a little bit of delay there between I'm wondering if it was just like a ramp up of manufacturing. They say ready to use, but let's just verify that quick with the voltmeter. and see if we get usable open circuit voltages, just as a sanity check to make sure that there's not some massive oversight here. Put it in DC, and let's just go down the row here. 1.33, 1.33, 1.33, 1.33. Yep, these are pretty much eneloop based batteries, because the one thing about eneloops is that they have very consistent voltages across all the cells when they're charged. Let me show the back of this pack. I think I did actually. Whatever. Also shows that it's made in Japan, and shows 500 charge cycles, which I think I already mentioned. These actually are a darker gray. That's a cool, true to IKEA, subtle, but still you get a good color difference there. So you know which ones are the higher capacity and which ones are the medium capacity. Cool, I kind of like that color. It's a neat, a little bit of a hint of green to it, at least under the lighting. So let's just check these real quick. Oh, when were these made? These are also marked March 2021. So I'm wondering if they just had a bunch of these. They were manufacturing them and then they didn't get packaged until a little later on. But these things last forever, so it doesn't really matter. Let's see what we got here. 1.31, 1.31, 1.31, and 1.31. They look pretty much the same as the LADDA, the previous generation of LADDA. Same capacity, same standard charge, 245 milliamp for 16 hours. They're really the same, so I don't think these are going to be any different. Okay, so I just threw on the bench here the original AAAs that I bought, which are the LADDA 900. So these are 900 milliamp hour, which correlate with the, that's an Anchor one. But this is an Eneloop Pro minimum capacity, 900 milliamp hour. This I can't find anymore. I couldn't find these, but all I found at the store, or that was available at the store, was the 750 milliamp hour, which is the non-high output version of this. The standard capacity is 750. So these seem to be, these new ones seem to be a version of the regular Eneloop, so to speak, and have 1,000 cycle charge capacity. Here they are. They're the same shade of gray as the standard AAAs. I like the color change. These are actually manufactured April 2021. At least that they were packaged in July 2021, or whatever that particular date stamp means. Interesting. So I'll be putting it through the full suite of tests like I typically do, where I ramp it through the 4 different charging profiles, but more importantly, the 4 different discharging profiles. A couple key things to take away from this. The LADDAs have not been discontinued. There's just new versions of them. As far as the 2450s are concerned, they seem to be virtually the same as the previous generation 2450s. The new addition is these 1900 kind of standard batteries, which are very similar to the Eneloop. And also the addition of these LADDA 750 AAA, which I didn't see before and only ever saw the AAA. That was the equivalent of the Eneloop Pro AAA, which is the 900 milliamp hour. Interesting there that there's a new edition that's this lower one. Maybe the higher capacity one's coming out at a later date. I know there's manufacturing delays and constriction globally, so maybe that's why. There seemed to be a perceived gap where IKEA announced something and they just didn't have the stock ready. They didn't have the production volume ready yet. And so it seemed like there was a little bit of a gap between their announcement of discontinuing non-rechargeable batteries and then making the switch to these 2 choices now, two choices for the AA's, and it seems like there'll probably be 2 choices for AAA's, maybe. At least there's one right now, and that the cost is less expensive. I don't know how that translates globally, but at least in the United States, I do remember paying $7.50 for these LADDAs for a pack of 4, and it's the same price, $7.49, and this is cheaper, $5.49. That's all I've got. I'm gonna get these things under test. If you like what you saw, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.